So, Jim, our next consulting factor that we're going to go on to is organizational development. So what does organizational development mean?
When we speak with a lot of our clients, we hear from them that people coming into the marketplace or people who are available to come into their business don't have the appropriate skill sets, don't have the appropriate, aren't aligned culturally, may not have the right attitude, just may not be a perfect fit. So the idea of organizational development is about creating a group of people inside of a business who have the appropriate skill sets, who are aligned culturally, and who are capable of being able to support the business in its implementation of its strategic objectives.
How good are most companies at organizational development?
Most of the companies we deal with, of course, one could argue that if they were really good at it, they wouldn't need a consulting firm, but even the companies who don't use consulting firms to help them out are not real good at it, because organizational development requires people to sit down and objectively look at how good are the people inside the organization. How well are they performing their objectives? How good are they in cultural alignment, etc. And that means that you have to make an assessment of someone, good or bad, and that tends to be things we as human beings don't like to do.
What would you say the key challenges are in organizational development?
Yeah, for many organizations, organizational development is one of those things you need to do, and the results aren't obvious. You don't see them instantly. It's kind of like a continuous improvement, a slow grind that allows you to develop your organization and its structure, to teach your managers how to lead, etc. Over a period of time. You will see results, but it isn't instantly. And it also requires, just one more thought, it also requires that you really understand the skills that are required and what your operational gaps and strategic gaps are, because you need to develop your organization in such a way so that you can effectively deal with them.
What benefits does a good organizational development plan actually provide?
Well, if you do it right and you're consistent about how you do it, you can expect that you're going to see a much more engaged workforce from the top all the way to the shop floor. They're going to be much more highly motivated because they're going to be involved in the execution of the company's strategies, and they're going to understand how they contribute to that, and they're going to be willing to be accountable to it. You're going to find that they communicate much better with each other. You're going to find that there's going to be much lower costs in terms of the productivity of the organization and much higher worker satisfaction. And so those are all the things that are incredibly important for an organization to be able to effectively implement its strategic objectives. And we've done a lot of work in something we call the business hierarchy of needs, which outlines the steps that we need to go through in order to effectively implement strategy and to develop the organization and create a culture of strategic execution. And it's the topic of a book that will be published sometimes in Q2 called Stopping Short of Excellence.